There's one country in Europe that does Christmas like no other, and it's time we finally talked about it. In this video, I am taking you on a stunning 10-day tour to see the wonders of Swissmas, from flying Santas and a real-life Polar Express, to the most magical places with unlimited cookies and chocolate. Now, in case you're new here, hi, I'm Christina from HappyToWander.com. And this channel is all about practical travel advice from someone who's been there, done that, so be sure to like and subscribe if that sounds like your kind of thing. Let's begin our tour by flying into the elegant city of Geneva, home to an astounding number of international institutions from CERN to the United Nations, and an equally astounding number of chocolate shops. Here, the festivities are centered around the annual Noël au Quai event, home to dozens of stalls scattered along the idyllic shores of Lac Léman, better known to most English speakers as Lake Geneva. Decked with string-like garlands and elegant chandeliers, this annual market couldn't have a nicer backdrop, with the famous Jet d'eau in the distance and some of the city's ritziest hotels only steps away. Of course, as the market's centerpiece, a beautifully illuminated Christmas tree with dazzling strings of lights radiating from the middle, surrounded by food stalls from all around the world to satisfy every craving, whether you're looking for raclette, cinnamon rolls, or Canadian poutine. Besides stuffing your face, you can also stuff your gift list, with dozens of stall holders and local artisans on site swapping out weekly, meaning plenty of unique opportunities for gifting, even during repeat visits. As well as many, many bars to get your fill of hot drinks to warm you up, with covered food and drink areas decorated with sleds, baubles, and even lampshades, along with anything cozy, really. Christmas spirit can easily be found all around the city center, though, from shop windows and facades to the iconic Christmas tree in Place du Moulin. And there's even lit-up animals, whether you're after a festive lion or a glittering peacock. Besides Christmassy things, though, Geneva has another December surprise. In fact, one of the largest annual celebrations in the city, which takes place on the weekend closest to December 12th, the date that 400 years ago, the Genevois successfully thwarted an attempted invasion by the Duke of Savoy. In honor of it, practically every chocolate shop in the city sells these chocolate pots filled with adorable marzipan veggies. As tradition goes, you break it with loved ones and gobble up the contents, an ode to one of the heroes of this invasion who supposedly poured her hot cauldron of vegetables over invading soldiers to slow them down. So keep an eye out. Another festive treat you'll no doubt encounter is the Grötibetz, a classic Swiss bread shaped like a man complete with a chocolate baton. A must-munch if even just for the novelty. Now let's swap bread men for sled men, because it's time to see Santa himself over in stunning Montreux. The holidays hit this small lakeside city hard, with glittering lights all over, including at its most famous casino, once home to a music studio owned by Queen, now an amazing free museum dedicated to them. But the real star of the show here is the stunning Montreux Christmas Market, one of my personal favorite Christmas markets in Europe. I usually advise you visit Christmas markets at night for ultimate magic points, but Montreux and its idyllic lakeside markets are an exception. Come during the day and you can appreciate the truly incredible mountainscapes and lake views that make the city so special. But then come again at night to watch all the festive lights and installations come alive. A key highlight here is the Flying Santa, who soars across the sky 3 times a day on weekdays with a bonus time slot on weekends. A truly magical moment that will make even fully grown adults weep with joy. Especially if you catch one of the earlier shows so that Santa can glide across a dramatic backdrop of mountains, waving to the crowds below as he goes, stopping right over Place du Marché to sing a special song for all on his guitar. Just don't expect him to stick around too long because clearly the man has places to be. And so do you, because there's a lot more holiday magic to experience. A short hop over from Montreux, you'll find the lovely town of Vevey, home to a few little festive corners of its own, so long as you don't accidentally visit on a day that they're closed, like I did. So to prevent travel disasters like this, make sure your phone is loaded with mobile data as soon as you land so you can fa-la-la-la load hours and timetables as you go. And eSIM can help you do just that. So on that note, this week's video is brought to you by Airlo, my go-to eSIM provider that provides instant and affordable connectivity for over 200 countries and regions, including a regional one for Europe that works perfectly for Christmas market hopping and shopping. For those new to the concept, eSIM stands for Embedded SIM, which means it's pre-installed on your device and works 100% digitally to connect you to your local telecom provider's network, meaning instant data access upon arrival without needing to switch physical SIM cards in and out, which leaves your hands free for more chocolate and mulled wine. Best of all, it's cheaper than roaming and couldn't be simpler to buy through the Airlo app. On this trip, I just bought and activated my eSIM at the airport and was covered as soon as we landed. Perfect, because when it comes to festive travel, there was no time to waste. If you need a full tutorial for setup, you can check out my complete Airlo guide for step-by-step instructions, and be sure to use the code HAPPY3 to save on your first purchase by scanning this QR code to download the app. Thanks again to Airlo for sponsoring this week's video. Now let's fast forward to a smarter day in Vevey when I managed to catch the town's festivities when they were actually open. Spots like the cozy village de Noël in Place GENEVA, the perfect spot for a warm drink or bite, whether you get inside one of the coveted yurts or simply huddle like penguins under cover. But the main festive event here is the Riviera Noël, where you can enjoy a few dozen Christmas market huts with a side of lakeside views and a carousel Christmas tree where you can ride in a bauble yourself. A little farther afield, you can also check out Lausanne, known for its less traditional Beau Noël event with plenty of cool markets and light installations. Overall, it has to be said, Christmas spirit can be felt all over the Montreux Riviera, from glitzy decor around the cities and towns, to even at the stunning Chateau de Chillon, where Christmas trees and decorations are hung from every medieval facade. But it's now time to fast forward a few centuries, because we're about to swap medieval times for the golden Belle Époque. Because no festive retreat to Switzerland is complete without a little snow. Luckily, there's a few easy ways for you to enjoy it from Montreux. A very popular pick is the cogwheel train that brings you up to Rocher de Naye, where Santa himself awaits. But if it's old world romance you're after, your choice has to be the glorious Golden Pass Belle Époque train. A real-life Polar Express with a splash of Orient Express glamour. Minus the murder. But if views could kill, well, we would all very much be in trouble, because this train has some of the most stunning views in the world. Starting in Montreux with lakeside vistas everywhere you look, then climbing higher and higher to frosty forests and cutesy countryside. And you know, honestly, everything just looks more beautiful when you're admiring it from a train carriage that looks like this. Which, by the way, can be free on your birthday since MOB offers a free first-class day pass for birthday celebrants. Hot tip. Now, many visitors opt to do the trip as a round trip from Montreux, stopping in glitzy Gstaad for lunch before returning. But we are venturing to the final stop in Zweisimmen, where we can cast a wistful glance at the golden chocolate train, a must for next time, before hopping on a more modern but still magical ride to our next stop, BERN. Switzerland's storybook de facto capital is home to a UNESCO-recognized old town, with 6 kilometers of covered arcades housing countless shops to browse, both on ground level and in the former storage cellars below. Come during the festive season and you'll find cute holiday windows all around, with highlights including Rue des Gentilhommes, with cute decorations and even snowing storefronts, Holzart Engel & Co. near the cathedral with really cute displays, and adorable window displays à la Petite Chat Noire, from a napping Santa to a charming baking bear. And of course, the ever-so-glamorous Hotel Bellevue Palace, which boasts the cutest winter display with an ode, of course, to the wonders of Swiss transport. In addition to these bolder installations, though, there are plenty more subtle nods to the festive season all around the city. In fact, it seems everyone here gets their own Christmas tree, from big ones in front of museums and government buildings, to tiny ones dotting main road facades. Even the police station and, of course, the Swiss Parliament building have gorgeous ones to show off. But for those in search of Christmas markets, well, the city has 3 main musts, each with their own unique flair. Starting small, we have the Berner Münster Weihnachtsmarkt, held in the shadow of the city's famous cathedral. The focus here is on artisan goods, with dozens of local makers on site to show off their wares. And the obligatory stall or two for festive treats. And those with the energy can work off said treats with a climb up towards the highest church spire in all of Switzerland. 344 steps is all you need for some of the most dramatic views in the city. High above the shingled rooftops of Bern, seeing all the way out towards the Alps on a clear day. Now, you might be tempted to stay up here all day since the views are amazing and your legs might not work anymore after the climb. But it's time to brave the journey back down to a very special Christmas market. In the heart of Old Town on Waisenhausplatz, you'll find the BELLE Weihnachtsmarkt, home to around 50 stalls framed by the picturesque facades of one of Bern's most central squares. The stalls here focus less on unique handmade crafts and more on a mix of Christmas market classics and souvenirs. But don't let that deter you. Because if there's one market that commits endlessly to Bern's city symbol, it is this one. You'll find endless references to bears while walking around Bern. After all, so the legend goes, that's where the name of the city comes from. But nowhere is this bear theme more obvious than at this Christmas market. Where all around you'll find various themed windows showing adorable little bears living their best lives. Whether that's at their cozy bear tavern, putting on a show at the Bear Theater, out at the Bear Circus, or rolling some dough at the Bear Bakery. But if that's not enough variety for you, even the main Christmas tree is fully decked in cute teddies doing all kinds of fun winter activities. This market might not be huge, but the vibes here, I assure you, are extraordinary. But hey, speaking of bears, if you dream perhaps of sipping a boozy bevy under the watchful eye of some bears, then another little festive corner to check out is at Oscar Elsch, in Ringy Park, home to the statue of Knight and Military Commander Rudolf von Erlach, surrounded by bears, of course, right in front of the Stadttheater. The focus here is entirely on festive food and drink, but if you don't mind the lack of shopping, the vibes and mugs here are honestly delightful. But if we're talking about wonderful mugs, the honor of most stealable definitely goes to the crown jewel of Bern's Christmas market offerings, the magical Berner Sternenmarkt, or Market of Stars, held in the picture-perfect hilltop park of Kleine Schanze. One look at the banner and mug art alone should tell you that this market is another one you need to make sure you visit, at least twice. Once during the day to admire the breathtaking surrounding views, and again at night to appreciate the market's dramatic sparkle and namesake stars that make the whole market a truly magical wonderland. With over 80 huts featuring rotating exhibitors, you can find just about everything you'd want here, whether you're trying to find a cute gift, or maybe just a cute pastel de nata, churro, raclette, you name it. You know, just to take the edge off. The world-famous Cather Wolfhart has one of their signature red cabins here as well, if you're on the hunt for ornaments and decor in just about any shape. Now, speaking of shape, and maybe staying in shape, if you have your running shoes and a spare Santa suit lying around, you may be able to join in on one of Bern's most wholesome traditions, the annual Santa Run, which involves thousands of Santas storming the medieval streets of Bern, with one simple rule. You have to run dressed as Jolly Saint Nick. And let me tell you, if you haven't watched thousands of Santas belt Let It Go against the epic backdrop of the Bundeshaus, well, you haven't lived. All in all, a truly fantastic time. Perhaps on the opposite end of the spectrum to a wintertime running event though, we have the perfect half-day trip from Bern that you and your waistline may remember for the rest of your life. Because only 35 minutes away by train from Bern city centre, on board a branded train no less, you'll find the incredible Cambly Erlebnis, where 100 varieties of world-famous Cambly biscuits and snacks await. Each one with a liberal sample policy, so you're able to pick your favorites. And in case I didn't spell it out clear enough, this place literally has unlimited free cookies. And if you get lucky with timing like we did, they might even be hosting their own little Christmas market, where you can further the sugar rush with some steaming mugs of Glühwein. Now, if you can believe it, things can still get more festive than snow-dusted alpaca markets and bottomless cookies. Because we have certainly saved the most impressive Swissmas destination for last. Because now it's time to head to Zurich. This is a city that goes all out at Christmas time, with several large markets and some of the most unique festive celebrations in the country. Starting small with pretty illuminations just about everywhere you look in the city center. Highlights here include Paradeplatz, known for its large centerpiece tree and beautifully illuminated windows, Augustinergasse with its gorgeous stars, as well as colorful stars all around Löwenplatz. Believe it or not, made from recycled bottles. In this square, you'll also find the Globus department store with its Christmas factory on the top floor, complete with countless dazzling ornaments, displays, and very, very Swiss jellycats. Naturally, there's some Christmas market stalls here too for good measure. But if you really want a festive time, just head across the street over to Waldmülleplatz, home to perhaps the most delightful of festive traditions in Zurich, the city's iconic Singing Christmas Tree, which hosts daily concerts from local groups on an elevated stage shaped, you guessed it, just like a Christmas tree. And the result is nothing short of adorable, with a nice mix of hits depending on who's on stage, from Christmassy classics to Backstreet Boys, like we got. Get lucky like we did, and you might even catch a solo performance from Santa on the keys. Just have a listen and see if you recognize the tune. Now, we can't talk about Zurich's illuminations and traditions though without giving a shout out to the glittery lights illuminating Bahnhofstrasse, with over 20,000 LED bulbs. Affectionately known by all as Lucy, like Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. A hallmark of the Zurich festive season, with a special celebration every year for her annual illumination. Follow Lucy all along and you'll reach Zurich's beautiful central station, which is both bursting with and surrounded by festive cheer. North of the station, in the courtyard of the Swiss National Museum, for instance, you'll find the Illuminarium, a cozy spot for festive food and drink, along with dazzling light shows and the most beautiful gates and archways made with colorful lights. It was here that I decided to finally try the famous fondue baguette, which I saw at every market. And it surely shaved years off my life expectancy, but was worth every cheesy bite. West of the station, there is the impressive Weihnachtsallee, which stretches on and on along Zurich's Europaallee, under a canopy of twinkly lights. Here you'll find over 80 festive stalls and pavilions decked out in giant baubles, with some fun surprises and special guests along the way. But the biggest showstopper is probably what's inside the station itself. I'm talking naturally about the iconic Pollerzauber in Zurich's main station. This is one of the largest indoor Christmas markets in Europe, with over 100 stalls clustered under a dreamily lit concourse selling just about anything you can imagine. Offerings here include classic Christmas market fare, both local and from around the world, along with tons of gift stalls to throw your money at. But really, the star of the show here is the tree, which is known for its shameless, often branded extravagance, like the glittering Swarovski Christmas tree I saw here on my first visit in 2017. This year, a Lindt-sponsored Christmas tree decorated with the iconic Lindt chocolate truffle all over, topped with a giant one that I would give my left kidney to unwrap. But it's not enough to just ogle the Lindt-filled tree, no matter how cute it is with its tiny train. To get the full experience, you need to pop some of these baubles into your mouth. Well, of course you can do this in Zurich too, at the Lindt Home of Chocolate, located in Kirchberg, right next to the company's headquarters, where their famous chocolates have been produced since 1899. Today, it's home to one of the most visited attractions in the entire country, a shiny multimedia museum all about chocolate and the Lindt Empire. And as you might expect from a massive chocolate worship center, they do the holidays pretty well. Inside, you'll find not only an epic chocolate fountain holding 1,400 kilograms of real chocolate, but also the opportunity to taste test Lindt chocolate to your heart's content. Whether it's slurping it up by the spoonful, using motion detectors to unlock mystery-flavored pieces, or dutifully plucking one flavor each of the company's iconic chocolate truffles to find your personal favorite. Scanning your ticket at the end even unlocks a final chocolate surprise. And yes, plenty of the cutest possible photo ops. If weather permits, you can even take a boat ride here from Zurich's Old Town for the ultimate vibes. But hey, you don't necessarily need to hop on a boat and eat your weight in chocolate to get in the festive spirit. In fact, Christmas vibes can be found all over Zurich's Old Town, from storefront window displays like these ones at Einzelstück, or over at the vibrant Circus Canelli, a Christmas circus held in the same spot for over 30 years. Close by, you can find one of the more underrated but magical Christmas markets in Zurich, the Weihnachtsmarkt Münsterhof, held in the shadow of the Fraumünster Cathedral, beautifully framed by guildhouse facades. If your goal is to shop local, this is the place to be, with the focus firmly on local Zurich businesses and brands, as well as some of the prettiest backdrops that any of the city's Christmas markets has to offer. But for more festive frolicking, you need to make sure you visit the gorgeous Niederdorf, better known by locals as the Dörfli or the Little Village. Home to the annual Weihnachtsmarkt Dörfli, which combines the hundreds of festively decorated shops in the area with an extra 70 Christmas market chalets scattered around the adorable streets for good measure. Along with some surprises, like a little skating rink in the Rosenhof. The most picturesque portion, though, might just be in front of the Grossmünster Church, where an array of stalls with some of the best views in town await, with even better views from the tower up top, if you prefer to work a little for your Glühwein. The crown jewel of Zurich's Christmas market scene, though, is the Weihnachtsdorf or Christmas Village at Sechsleutenplatz, with 100 stalls huddled together in idyllic formation in front of the city's iconic opera house. Whether you're after mini pancakes, locally made knitwear, or glittery ornaments from Germany's Christmas capital, it's safe to say you'll find it here. Be warned, it does get very busy here, but there's nowhere else in the city you'll get this much choice. Time things right, and you might even catch the departure of one of Zurich's most beloved festive traditions, the St. Annahof Märli tram, a beautifully decked red tram chauffeured by Santa himself, where young passengers are invited on board to listen to stories read by angels, without a single parent in sight. That's right, no adults allowed, and nobody's worried. A true Swiss Miss miracle. Of course, more festive touches can be found all around the city, like in Zurich West as well. But for now, I hope you've enjoyed this Christmas tour around Switzerland. Let me know in the comments if there's any other Christmas markets you'd recommend for a future trip, and be sure to like and subscribe for more travel videos just like this one. I'll see you next time. Bye!